Ammon Hillman went on a band tour recently, and as naturally, things can go wrong when you are meeting up publicly with people you've never met before, people that you have no background information on, and some really bad things seem to have happened, specifically with what someone would call a SA or being raped. We have to use very specific words today because YouTube will take this video down if we aren't particular. So this person was in Ammon's group, Ammon Hillman, the Greek classicist. This person was in Ammon's group. Ammon knew this person, saw them personally. This person was in the discussion boards and Discord and posted about Ammon all over the place and knew all the different people in the group. And yet, Ammon responds very oddly to this happening. We're going to have to get into it. Let's see here. All right. Let's see what we got. Never prepare for these things. That's okay. All right. So there's actually two parts. The first part, they didn't even really comment on any of the stuff that went on. Didn't have much to do with the issues of the actual band tour and all that. I don't know why Ammon decided to respond to it later. But this is the second part of the video that was taken down by YouTube. I edited a little bit to remove the words and the descriptions that may have been a problem with YouTube's algorithm. Yep, so if you go on Ammon's YouTube channel, it's not going to be there. But we're going to respond to that today and see what Ammon said to people in his own group, allegedly getting SA'd and both people in the situation being part of Ammon's group. So let's get into it here.
Now, I want to show you why it is so important that we free ourselves. I want to show you the enemy who is lurking.
And before I comment, just real quick there, I did want to stress, I really appreciated what Neil said. Is so a lot of times in these conversations, when the other team, when the people that you see as bad or wrong, they are when they mess up, something bad happens to them. You sometimes our gut feeling, our instinct is to cheer for that to happen. This should not be one of those situations. Something seems to have, or at least allegedly seems to very badly have happened. This is a sad situation for everybody. Everybody should be sad about this.
I want to show you. I want to show you. Satanic congregation, I want to show you the darkness. I'm going to set up, bring up Medea. I have one quote tonight in Greek, people. One quote. I'm going to put it up right now. Just one. I want you to focus on just this one.
Okay, so this doesn't really even have anything to do with the video either. The Greek nerds out there can have fun with this. But once again, look at that. It doesn't give any citation for where this came from. Nobody knows. There's no English translation to compare this to. So yeah, anybody who isn't a Greek expert already is going to be clueless about this and stuck with just trusting whatever Ammon says. But that's par for the course, right?
History. He tried and he succeeded. And he did so, claiming that it was my will and that it was the will of the people of Lady Babylon, that this is what they practice. He used that pretense to assault one of us. And do you know who this man is? This man is David, best friend of Jason Giorgiani.
I'm sorry about that, guys. Well, that works out. I didn't say anything that important. All right. So, the oh, look at that. Someone's even calling me. How nice. Um, okay. So, let's go back there. So, I don't even know what was said. Okay. So, what was said so far is that David supposedly met up with somebody at one of these band tours. And of course, Ammon has been going around the United States in a band. And this person, David, is supposedly, at least allegedly, as we'll find out, was SA'd somebody that was in Ammon's group. And Ammon is saying that this David person used Ammon's name, like, hey, Ammon told me to do this, or, we have to read the lines. We don't have the actual words of him, but something like, Ammon told me to do this, or this is part of, my guess is this is probably part of the initiation. But yes, so let's keep going. You said volume, Zach. Make sure let me know if I can hear you guys, or you can hear me.
Watch out. They'll come after you, Ammon. I don't give a shit. Must pay. This is it. No more goddamn telling us what to do.
So there's a couple cuts there. Basically, he used the word grape and all these other words. He's basically saying that there's multiple people that grape people, which is odd.
Forcing us to live in poverty, forcing us to live a life of disease and want, forcing us to die in plague. Fuck these, fuck them all. It's time for the fury. It's time for justice. You thought Lady Babylon was a game. Do you know where I changed my perspective? I changed my perspective with the woman who was affected by this human filth. I changed my mind when she wrote to me. And she wrote to me and said, one of the members. And I thought to myself, we have no members. We're not an organization. And I sat.
I don't know if Ahmed's being serious here. I mean, people, they always talk about the congregation. They have their own Discord. They obviously have a group. What do you mean by no members? What do you mean, like, you don't have dues? You don't have formal membership? Is Ahmed just being silly? I have no idea.
And I looked around the airport, and it suddenly occurred to me, I could never, this is what I said, you son of a bitch. That's how I address myself, right? Don't put him up there when I'm talking about myself. This is a scumbag. Oh, get off there. Put me up. People, I was sitting there in the airport and I realized, what the fuck do you stand for? What do you stand for if you don't stand for justice? Do you remember what they said? Do you remember what that punk comedian said? He said about us, He said people who styles. This same punk comedian then went on to slander victims. Enough is enough of these people.
It's all right. Well, I'll get this audio thing working out eventually. So yes, lost my train of thought. That's okay. So what he's doing is he seems to be throwing up random names that don't have anything to do with what David did. I guess to say, hey, yeah, grape is bad, and that I don't stand for that. Uh, but like half the people he's talking about aren't any related at all in the slightest. So it it's odd. I don't understand, other than just what he's doing is just some kind of deflection of, hey, we're not going to talk about the elephant in the room, that this elephant in the room was part of our group. And while we're at it, let's talk about that. So Neil did a good job of displaying what all David has done with Ammon. So so this is a post on Twitter. This guy David Hooper, what supposedly is allegedly the person who did this. He, by the way, his Twitter is like completely empty now, or it's private, whichever. But it was public. So David, he says, the call goes out for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Medea Returns, brought to you by Dr. Ammon Hillman. So he is sending out invitations. And if you see that right there on the screen, you got to love that, that they're charging $20. So somebody's making money off Ammon Hillman. Is it Ariana Reines? Is it David? Is it actually Ammon Hillman himself, even though he says, hey, we don't make money off these things? I don't know. You tell me. There are some obvious problems as well with. Let me actually show that. There are obvious problems as well with the what Ammon's views are, because it seems like Ammon's views have, on one hand, he will say, "Hey, Jesus is a child, uh, bad person, does bad things with children," and then he points to people in the ancient world that do supposedly do bad things with children, but uh, on one hand, he'll be like, "Oh yes, this is bad," and then the other hand, he'll say stuff like, "Hey, well, get this serum or this healing thing or this special property, you have to do this essentially bad thing to a child." So there seems to be a lot of really odd, uh, like almost like contradicting himself. Um, so this is one of the examples, but there's several of them, which is why some people have hypothesized that, hey, maybe there are so many people coming out that have past experience of uh, allegedly and sometimes actually going to jail for it, of abusing little children. So um, if that is the case, then it seems obvious that someone who would like to justify what they did in the past, feel better about themselves, would look to Amen because, oh, Jesus is supposed to be the example, and Jesus did this, so maybe it's okay if I do this. Um, so there's different reasons you would justify following what Amen would say, but some of them are more explicit than that. That it seems like what he said in the past, it requires there to be some type of abuse, which is really kind of, I'll go with odd to keep things mild. But yeah, let's watch this. What Ammon was saying here.
Somebody's body producing a substance through the flesh that you and I can use. That substance will bring us to death and back to life.
Did you hear what just happened there? The guy who just sexual assaulted somebody at Ammon's concert was sharing this video over a year ago. This video of he's explaining how the mystery done by extracting the purple or the drug that's mixed with the purple or whatever it is from little children. He's saying that if you do listen to what he says.
What's the process? Okay, what is the mystery initiation?
What is the mystery initiation? Well, what is it? Tell us.
What's the process? Okay, don't get queasy. But this is a practice that involves the use of communion. This is a practice that involves somebody's body producing a sub.
You know who that body is? You know what he tells people in multiple other places and interviews? Danny Jones, his own articles. It's a prepubescent child. Look on the screen. You can see a little child on the screen. So far what we know is the mystery ritual is a prepubescent child. You have to extract substances from him. And what else?
Substance through the flesh that you and I can use.
Oh, what are we going to do with it? We're going to use it. Oh, wow.
That substance will bring us to death.
Death-inducing drugs, the thalassemia, right? That's what he talks about. He says Jesus did this.
And back to life.
Now, notice how he's not talking about this is a bad thing. He's saying we can do this. He's not condemning Jesus right here. He's saying we can do this. We can extract drugs from little kids and use it to die and resurrect, I guess. That's what the whole point is, right?
We go into the pit and we come out, and what do they call us when we come out in late Bronze Age? They say we're born again. That experience.
And by the way, someone please explain to me why he would call that the late Bronze Age. Late Bronze Age is right before 1000 BCE. Almost none of the text, pretty much zero of the text Ammon ever talks about is that old.
Causes you to be kicked out of the time stream in an ionic way.
Now put a little note in ionic. I'm going to show you how much this guy influences the guy who just sexually assaulted somebody at his concert.
So that you can perceive what your existence actually is. So that when you're brought back, you can then live your life knowing how the outside, the ion affects time. It allows you. And you say, people are doing this. They're doing it to the extent that guys like Cicero are saying, if you haven't been through it, you can't live.
Desirous.
All right. So this is actually a really old picture that was on discussion boards from Ammon. And this was pretty explicitly dark. So get a little scared there. Okay. Neil says he's placed Medea in the late Bronze Age as the first Christ because she rubbed a potion in her hair. Yeah. Right. Okay. That's why you would place her in the late Bronze Age. That's seems like an odd argument, but okay. All right. So what does Neil say here?
Readings, literally fantasy. Are we able to access the
Don't lie to us, Stephen. You are Neil.
realm of Medea through natural resources of today? Not so much as the desirous in interactions, but with others, but more along the lines of seeing beyond this timeline. If the text worked, it stands to reason. This is Ammon responding. It would work now. Too bad we have no cup. All bets are off without a cup. You know what the cup is, right? The boy. He says there's all. If you don't, any fucking Ammonite watching this, you know what the cup fucking is, idiots. Don't act like you don't. He's saying too bad we don't have a boy. That's literally Ammon saying, too bad we don't have a cup. All bets are off without a cup. He literally talks about on his channel that the cup is the boy. The boy is the cup. says this all the time. He said, is this cup like Noah's Ark, or are you talking about the cup that holds the Theriac? Someone wrote, the cup is the virgin who manufactures the antidote within her body. 7 upvotes. 7 upvotes by the Ammonites. By the way, 13 upvotes for Ammon saying, too bad we have no cup. 13 Ammonites said, fuck yeah, I wish we had a cup. Wish we had a boy. I wish we had that boy. Yeah, give me that boy. Urgh. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Don't you love it? Do you see it? You see it? Do you see it now? Do you see it now? And look at this. Look at this. Look at the last, what's it called? Look at the last, some, look at -2. They're like, oh, boo this person for asking such a stupid question. What a stupid question. They didn't know what it was. What do you mean by cup? Noah's Ark? Are you talking about the cup that holds the Theriac? What do you mean cup? The cup is the virgin, because this person's a trained Ammonite. They know what it is. They know what the cup is. They watched Ammon Hillman. They listened to Ammon Hillman. They've heard him say it over and over and over and over again. The cup is the virgin, the prepubescent virgin. The prepubescent virgin. It can be male or female, by the way. That's why it says her. It's got to be a prepubescent virgin. And they said it 7 upvotes. So they got fucking checks out. And there could have been, this is the overall. There could have been people downvoting this because they think it's disgusting. The overall is 7 people upvoted it. Overall. So that could be 100, it could be 50 for all we know. It could be 40 dislikes. You know what I mean? Whatever. The cup is the virgin who manufactures the antidote within her body. What else do you need? This is, why do you think he's attracting the worst people? The people who abuse children, who got arrested for abusing children, people who, the worst, like the literal scumbags are attracted to this person. Why do you think so? Why do you think that is? Why do you think the person who just got caught adding somebody for the last 2 years on their social media accounts was just promoting Ammon, making money off Ammon, selling tickets to Ammon shows, $20? There was no greed there, huh? Where's the greed stains your soul? Charging $20 tickets to see Ammon. Where was all the greed stains your soul for that one?
Neil's asking some very good questions there. But as I think you can very clearly see, we have 2 examples of some kind of ritual or something that Ammon is trying to say that to do this, and he does not say it in a negative way. He says both situations, he implies that it's a good thing that we should try to do it, or that it's a bummer that we can't do it. And both things require some type of underage fill in the gap there. All right. But who is this David person? Okay. In Ammon's stream, this is actually the response to Neil. And Ammon says, he acts like he's never heard of this David guy. This is what Shui says.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say I watched a lot of Neil's video, and basically everything he said was a lie. On and on again, trying to make propaganda about the fact that this David Hooper, this frickin' scum, was a part of our congregation, and I knew frickin' nothing about this guy. I met him a week ago after hearing he had recorded the shows, and I have never known him ever since.
All right, so this is Chewy, his daughter, who is above 18, just slightly, and she is saying that she just met him a week ago. She says it like, "Oh, I just met him a week ago. I don't know who he is." But is that the truth? Is it true that Ammon doesn't know, even though Ammon seems to conveniently never say, "Oh, I never knew him," or "I didn't know who he was"? But he never goes out and right and says, Yes, he was part of our group. Yes, we were all friends with him. So what's the actual facts here? So let's look here. So as you'll see in this picture here, you have David Hooper promoting Ammon reveals the mystery. Okay, he's just sharing stuff. He's a big Ammon fan. Okay, that doesn't mean that he actually is part of the group. Maybe he's just a fan. Maybe he just watched the YouTube videos or something. Let's find out here. What is the actual truth of? Okay, so another Ammon video. Neil mentions that this MELTDOWN is seems to be a Greek reference to something maybe Ammon did, whatever, you know. It doesn't mean that he's part of Ammon's group. Oh, look, he's got one of his chips in his thing that he does for his work or his business. It's purple. Purple is a very important thing for Ammon. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Okay. Well, what is this? What do we have here?
On the channel with Ariel. There's Ariel. That's probably her. Is that this? Oh, I don't know. Let's play this clip.
Soul's search for the truth that ultimately led me to where I am today. And I thank you as well, Chris. And I connect with you and I empathize with you on that because I think we both had a similar.
We'll skip it actually. Not as juicy. It's interesting. You can check out Neil's video. He basically says, "Hey, I'm an Ammon fan," without actually saying he's an Ammon fan. But we already know he's an Ammon fan. That doesn't tell us much. Oh, okay. What is this? This is in the Discord for one of Ammon's groups. So he says, "Going to try to make it to as many as I can. Someone has to supply the purple." He's talking about the band tour. And what is this purple? The purple is one of the things that is used in one of these rituals that we'll get to in a second here.
This is just a few months ago, and they're getting this, so they all got the news that there's going to be a meetup, right? This is in the Discord, and I can't reveal who gave me this, but I got it, and that's all that matters. So he says, "I'm going to try to make it to as many as I can. Someone has to supply the purple." That's the guy. This is the guy that Maddie's been talking about. Okay, you got all the people in the group. Thumbs up, yeah. Purple heart, purple flame, medical, serpent symbol. What is the euphoria comparable to? This guy's saying he's going to make his own drugs. Look, listen how insane this is. This is how insane. And by the way, I was thinking today, sometimes I wonder, am I wasting my time trying to expose these calls? These are the because this is dangerous. People he just met online and giving them to them. And nobody had a clue. Nobody whoever's monitoring this Discord didn't think, maybe this is not a good idea. Hey, David, maybe you shouldn't solicit drugs in here. But it's Lady Babylon, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, so what he's basically saying is that to do this supposed ritual, it pretty much has to have some type of drug in order to do anything that they would like, okay? Not only that, but you also have this group of Ammon's group that a whole bunch of them do drugs, okay? Naturally, what that means is that you have David, who is publicly saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this thing," and it has, you know, he didn't explicitly say it, but it essentially is going to require him giving out drugs to people, maybe something to do with this purple thing that we'll look at in a second, some little concoction. But what this means is that this is a huge chance that people are going to be put at serious risk for some type of date-rape drug or something like that, because you never know if a drug could be laced. Nobody knows this guy David, and yet, as Neil's saying, is that it was very unsafe for nobody to say something, say, "Hey, no, you shouldn't be giving out any kind of drugs or talking to people online." You don't even have to talk to Dave. You can talk to everybody. Just say, "Hey, you should not be accepting drugs because you don't know what's in your system." That's all fun and dandy. If Ammon wants to have a little group and have some fun with the text and make up some things here and there, whatever. You got a group and they're fun. Everybody likes each other. That's fine and dandy, okay? at the very minimum, Ammon needs to make an effort to keep people safe, because he knows that there is, what, 3, 4, 5 people in the group, at least, at the very minimum. We've already talked about them on the channel. Neil talks about in this video alone, that have really troubling pasts. And we have one here now where with this person, what allegedly with this person, David, that that actually was a big problem for doing something allegedly very, very bad. So somebody in this group needs to make a legit effort to put up some safety measures, or this will continue to happen. Like, there's no doubt about it. This will continue to happen.
They're all about the drugs. The drugs are the greatest thing ever. It's salvation. So this guy says, I'm going to supply the purple. Someone's got to supply the purple. And he says, and just real quick, let me just show you. He actually, if you guys don't think he just actually brings some. There's Ammon Hillman, and there's him giving him purple and putting it in some bag. He's literally.
All right, so at this point we have pictures. Okay, there's no doubt about it. Ammon knows this guy David. He met him in person. Okay, even if it was for a brief conversation, he met him in person. Ammon should be at least telling people that, but Ammon gives people the impression that he didn't even talk to the guy, and Chewie especially is explicitly saying, "Hey, yeah, I just met him a week ago."
It's in the shell still. He's giving it to Ammon. So this idea that just I don't know who he is. He's an outsider. He fucking knows who it is, dude. He's meeting up with him and getting purple from him. There you go. There it is again. Look at shaking his hand, dude. Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Purple. I'm going to make the purple myself. And I got something to say about Snappy, too. Snappy. Ooh, Snappy loves this shit. There he is right there.
So Snappy is another person very high up in the group in a lot of Ammon's videos. And look, he's with David there as well. A lot of pictures with David. It seems like everybody knows him.
Whatever that's going on there. So I'm going in a different direction. Okay, so let's go the other way. This is right after. That's 5/8. This is 5/8, same day. I'm bringing it to the Junius show. Happy to share my purple with you that I made myself. It really does stain your fingers purple. It's so cool. Look at this. You got purple fingers, right? He loves it. Ammon loves the purple fingers. I've ingested in small amounts. Soma Library has a right of my experience. Let's see. So he's talking about the purple, and he says, I'm referencing some purple. I brought some and gave it to Ammon at New York City. So the idea that Ammon's last night telling everyone this is just some random guy, I don't know who he is, and probably last night gave it to purple.
So that was on 5/8. So that was 3 months ago. So Ammon met this guy 3 months ago. And the way they give off this impression, as we'll continue watching the video, is that Ammon never met this guy, doesn't know him.
And he says, I'm referencing some purple. I brought some and gave it to Ammon at New York City. You compulsive liar. Did you? Okay. He says, do you think a lot of people are going to have an experience? Yes, I do. Me too. I'm excited for Chewie's movie.
So have an experience. Is he talking about the band? And maybe it's not too clear. Somebody can let me know in the comments. He said something about, he wrote about the experience that he had with these things that he ingested small amounts of on what they call the Soma Library, which is another Discord group.
Movie. I just got back from a 24-hour.
It seems pretty obvious that this is a drug that he's going to, and he's saying that he's going to be giving it out to people.
Blah, 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 blah. It's going out. He keeps asking, do you think people are going to go out and have an experience? Do you think the majority of the congregation understands what I'm about to do? Are we on the same page here? That's kind of what he's doing here.
And that's the big question there. What's going on with the initiation? So the initiation is not some like get together and smoke some pot. No, The initiation is a lot darker than that. Okay, it's a lot more into it than that.
And no one has a fucking clue. Look at this person. Probably not, me included. I have some clues. I guess it's just the anticipation of imminent death. What? I just want to survive. I just want to survive. So this guy now knows that there are girls in this group who are like willing to take drugs and go to near-death experiences with him. This guy's like, he thinks he has the green light now. He thinks he has the fucking green
This was about a couple weeks ago.
light right now. She said, I just want to survive. Laugh emoji. I guess the anticipation of death is imminent. Ready for this? I'll be recording it. Just recorded Serpent. Uploading to Google Drive. Chewy. Awesome. Thank you, David. 8 likes, 4 Chewy emojis, 5 hearts. Thank you, David. Oh, I thought you guys didn't know who this was. I thought it was just some random.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Hey. Just a second ago, we showed how Chewy said that they had no idea who this was. Now this is 7/22, so about a couple weeks ago. So like a week, 2 weeks, like whatever. Like what is the actual? So let me pull up my calendar here. No, here let's see. Is there such thing as an online calendar? No, not really. Whatever. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna count the days here. We're gonna get this right. So it is the 1st, as we are saying this, and in the video, Chewy says, "Thank you, David," on the 22nd, and yesterday, or was it the day before? Chewy said that they met him a week ago. So that's actually pretty accurate. So in this case, it's certainly possible. Like we don't have any other evidence that Chewy knew David prior to a week ago. So I don't know. Maybe there should be a little clarification there. It doesn't really take away from what was being said. So okay, maybe Chewy doesn't know who this David person is. Maybe it's not someone that's like super high up in the group on the level of Snappy or where Neil was, or all the other people, Madeline or whatever. But at the end of the day, this person was very known in the group, at least by several people, and met Ammon, met Chewy in person, met Ammon specifically like 2 or 3 months ago. So whether Chewy or knows them, say a week ago, really isn't that relevant at all, is it?
Random infiltrator. Oh, Chewy, did you forget? Did you forget that he recorded? He recorded it.
Neil getting a little spicy here.
I'm going to the first. This is disgusting right here. This is disgusting right here. Look at this. I'm going to the first 3. Depending on how Bacchic those get, I might stay for the rest of them. Someone has to supply the purple. Ha 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 ha. I might do the first and the last.
So this person, Modima, or however you pronounce that, it seems like in 2 different occasions has said that they are going to do drugs with the David.
Do you think a lot of people are? Oh, so this might be the same, a repeat. So
yeah, it actually might be a repeat there. So
here we go. Look at this.
It's a continuation.
So the girl who said, "I just hope I survive," probably not. I just hope I survive, right? He responds, "I'll make sure you survive." Look at this creepy face, dude. Look at this creepy fucking.
It might be a bit much there, Neil.
Tech bro.
I mean, it looks relatively a normal face.
Face. Weird. I'll make sure you survive.
Yes. Neil does get heated, it seems like, and yes, I do think he has legitimate reason to.
Didn't understand until now. Initiation equals alpha and completion, omega. Hotels are very reasonable around there. Yeah, I got a Marriott for $60 a night, 2 queen beds. What are you're going by yourself and you're getting a 2 queen bed room? This guy was planning this shit out from day one. If you don't know that, if you're the monitor of this shit, you need to be fired immediately. You are or you're in on this, or you knew this was happening and you're in on this, which probably is true. Oh, by the way, isn't this the guy who monitors the Discord? Oh, there he is.
Yep. So this is another high
He's with the
person.
guy-
This is another high person that David was with. Does it say the date on there? That would be, oh shoot, this is in March. It says it was in March 8th. So that's about 5-6 months ago. And we did a video earlier, and this was that. I can't help but laugh. The music video by this guy Bori, who is by the way, is a mod, like, so pretty high up there. He's one of the mods in the Discord. He made this whole song about Neil is what is the word he used? Someone put in the chat, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can watch the video. But an insurrectionist is what he said, which is just odd, odd behavior. But you can check out why he did that. But so yeah, so what's interesting about this picture right here is that this picture is the same picture that Ammon is using to hate on David in the actual video on the Lady Babylon. It's the same picture. Same picture. Same picture. Ammon, why are you editing out Bori? It's almost like you don't want your group to be associated with him.
Guy who did it. Buddy. Look at this. There's the guy who made a song about me and fucking tags me on social media all day and spams me and talks shit all day. That's fucking 3. Fucking makes music with a buddies. All right, so that's it. What's his ex-girlfriend? Broke up with him.
They're talking about Snappy. That's a whole nother thing. So Snappy, apparently his ex said that Snappy is a groomer and pedo, and whether that's true or not, who knows? That's certainly questionable. If there's anybody that would know, it would be her. And then there is this person, Adria, who went to jail for things related to children. And then you have this person right here, Hannah, who was charged with 3 counts of chemical endangerment of a child. It seems to me that she left some type of cocaine or something like that in the house or something like that, and somehow it got into their system. It doesn't mean that she gave it to him necessarily, but it's a conversation for another day. And then of course you have Ammon, who according to court documents, while you can't prove with 100% certainty that he did this, all the evidence seems to point that that Ammon stalked several women on the campus.
What state?
And there's several different accounts of what happened. I do want to be clear. It says that or at least the documents claim that he sexually harassed people, not sexually assaulted. But still not good. Made a lot of really odd claims to people. You can read that. You can check out my video. Several people went out and said stuff about that. Really kind of gross, to be honest. And that's why he got fired, even though he has lied about it to this day. And I do want to be clear there. So no, I do not think Ammon is guilty by association. I do not think that Ammon is somehow a participant in this, as far as he caused someone to SA another person. But what I will say is that Ammon has an obligation to make sure that his group is safe, that he puts up boundaries to keep people safe, to keep people in the group that will promote safety for others, that he puts people in charge that can advise not to do drugs with random people, not to do the purple. Now, of course, there's the question of, is Ammon's views promoting this behavior? Is Ammon giving the impression that we should be doing these rituals with children or adolescents or teenagers? I'll let you be the judge of that. But if you look hard enough, I don't think anybody would like the answer to that. To be clear, it's a horrible thing. It is an absolutely horrible thing. What happened, or what allegedly happened. At the same time, there are other problems. Everybody agrees that it was a problem that happened, but there's more than one problem. It doesn't make any sense to talk about something that everybody agrees with. We don't need to give more attention to it without there being any benefit to it. Rather, there is a benefit of talking about failings on the part of Ammon and the failings on the part of the rest of the people of the group, as far as warning and making sure that people are safe when you are communicating with this group. Is there anything else that we should talk about with Neil? Let's see here. I think we're good there. Okay, so let's actually get back to the video here. And I probably even lost my place, but that's okay.
Done. You can be told, satanic congregation, that you can be reminded that we live in a world where people are targeting you specifically, and they're trying to use my name to do it. And they belong to the brothel. They have been here with us the whole time. They have infiltrated us the whole time. They belong to a consortium that deals out Israeli tourism. And
Asher's Orchard says he's literally said that these rituals grant aeonic life, which is obviously a positive thing if you know anything about what it means to be aeonic. And he said, and then Asher says he's coding it as nothing but positive. So he's giving every single reason to think that, hey, you should be doing these rituals. And that's a big problem because it puts people at risk, especially if there's no historical relevance to any of this.
Propaganda. They are the brothel of insurrectionists. And now we are not playing a game. It is my sincere hope and desire that this woman who was attacked, that this woman who was violated, that this member of satanic congregation, it is my hope that she will pursue justice to the nth degree. And I am ready, willing, and able to testify and to tell them what this piece of shit is.
So he's saying that this person that David allegedly did this to, Ammon is saying, hey, you should press charges legally. And Ammon is saying that he is going to speak up on her behalf. But like, what would Ammon say to a bunch of judges or cops that would change anything in the case? No, what really Ammon's doing, he's communicating, hey, I'm on the side of the person that was in our group. That person that was in our group that was hurt, I'm on the side because I protect people in our group. That's what he's trying to communicate, which of course is not true that he actually does it.
This is Lady Babylon. Did you think we were here? Put him up with Jesus. Did you think we were here to play games? Did you think? Jason Giorgiani, did you think that we would sit around while your associate us? Did you think that we would sit while your king sits on his throne of child rape? Did you think we would do that? How much How fucking
All right, so if you haven't figured it out, Ammon is just putting random people on the screen vaguely associated with this David person, and is what seems to be, distracting you from actually what happened, which is somebody that in his group did something supposedly, allegedly very bad. At least the very minimum, he thinks they did something bad. And this David Giorgiani person. So if you watch the video that Ammon responded to Neil, you will see that he said, "This is David. This is Giorgiani's book. This is just some like random guy that wrote a book." And it says, "This book is dedicated to David Dominus Hooper, who made this afterlife study possible." So, in other words, David Hooper, the guy that supposedly allegedly did this bad thing, he funded the book for Giorgiani to write it. So basically, Giorgiani's like, "Hey, I don't have the time or the money to do this. You pay me and I'll do it." And so David Hooper did that for him. Seems like David Hooper has a good amount of money, maybe. That is all the evidence we have that there's any association with the two. There's literally no other evidence. When Neil messaged Giorgiani and Giorgiani said, "Hey, yeah, the only thing that I have is that I was funded by David. That's why I put it in there. I don't know about it anywhere else." And but I don't know if you heard it or might have skipped it, but in this video, for some reason, Ammon says that David is Giorgiani's best friend, which is insane, based off of just one book reference. So yeah, if anybody tells you that they're like best friends or something, no, there's no evidence of that.
evil. How evil must you be? Both of them into the pit. Into the pit. Won't they sue you? The devil has.
So one of the, I'd say, most creepiest things about this video is that Ammon is creepiest and like go overboard and pretty close to defamation is what Ammon does is he'll say, "Hey, so this person David did something wrong. Grapists in general are bad, and we need to stop all these grapists." And then in the same sentences, he will put someone like Giorgiani, or as we'll see, Neil, and then he'll put them in the same picture, like they're working together or something. Like, what reason does Ammon have to think that they're working together? Like, this is completely ridiculous. I have no idea how anybody takes him seriously after something like this. There's no reason why Ammon would be just randomly putting people out there like this and associating them together as if they're best friends, that somehow this Giorgiani guy, I mean, let's just assume they're best friends. Does that have anything to do with, is there any evidence to think that Giorgiani somehow caused this very bad thing that happened to the Ammonite member? Like, what are we really doing here? Which is why I would say this is a complete deflection. But one, if you're an Ammonite, why are you not calling this out? Why are you not saying, "Hey, Ammon, you shouldn't be doing that. That's not good for you to just be associating. This could give this person a bad image. This could possibly even put them in legal trouble or something like that, or a problem with the boss, or all kinds of other things." And even if someone's your enemy, that doesn't mean that you should just talk bad about them. It doesn't mean that you should especially like ascribe moral, like really grave moral evils to them.
Lawsuit proved me because I am poor.
So he's literally saying, "Hey, you can't sue me because I'm poor."
And lawsuits are about money.
Lawsuits about money. That's what Ammon said, because his big thing is like, "Oh yes, because if you make any money about anything, then you must be doing it for wrong reasons." Or maybe lawsuits are to legally require somebody to be punished for wrongdoing, because that's the court system that we have. It is not always about money. There's tons and tons of SA, assaults that happen, and they go to civil court because of the laws that are put in place. And yes, certainly people are benefited by the money, but that's not the only reason they do that. If someone like, for example, if somebody like Ammon is sued for defamation and that person wins, that's going to go most likely on their record. It is going to, like, if Ammon were ever to get a job, that's going to show up on there. What are you doing? I'm defaming people. It's pretty odd. So yes, that is not the only reason. And if you want people to be held morally accountable, then you probably should sue if you have the money for it.
Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny? So come on, guys. Come on, let's get on. What I want is justice. Who else wants justice? Satanic congregation? Who wants justice for this woman who was sexually assaulted by this Georgiani associate?
And what is with this photo, Ammon? This is supposedly some Jesus and some boy, and that's his shtick, is Mark 14. But what does this have anything to do with anything? Ammon's just throwing stuff out and hoping that it sticks, hoping that his audience doesn't catch him just making up stuff and deflecting on what the problem is.
For this woman who was sexually assaulted by this Georgiani associate named David. David, what's his last name? Now, people, if they're true, it's not slander or libel. Do you understand? If they are true, the allegations, no slander, right?
It's kind of weird. Like, Ammon or Chewy really likes to put this photo up there, which is the most damning of them all because it's the one that cuts out Bori.
Oh, God, people, do you know how I know they're true? Because he used my name. Right? I know that she's telling the truth because he attempted to deceive her. It's always the liars.
Okay, so Ammon is saying he believes this person that claimed that this David person SA'd her because she said that he basically said, hey, Ammon wants me to do this on, like, this is what Ammon says we should do. Now, of course, like, as far as a story that you that would make sense for someone to do if you're part of Ammon's group, yeah, that makes total sense. Because guess what? There's multiple different things that we've already talked about that that almost require some type of abuse of some kind in the ritual. Now, at the end of the day, though, how does that mean that what she said was correct? Can someone not lie about, hey, so this person harassed me and they were telling me that you told me to do the ritual? Like, that's extremely easy to do. It just takes a little bit of creativity. All this person had to do was say that this David person, they decide, hey, I don't like this David person. I'm just going to make up something about it to get him kicked out of the group. That would be really easy. It's not like it hasn't happened before. At the same time, it should be noted that, in the news, you always hear about these situations where it seems like someone is suing for SA or grape, and it seems like it's just a money grab. If you actually look at the data, the statistics, a huge percent, it was like 90% of times that people sue, like, it's actually a legit thing that is happening. Like, it's not just made up. But I'm not, don't quote me on that. It's not specifically 90%, but it's a very high amount. Okay. So logistically, probabilistically speaking, if Ammon, I mean, once again, we're just trusting Ammon, which is a problem in itself, but we're just trusting Ammon that he's conveying the information right, which another problem in itself. But assuming that, and it would make sense that this person actually did do that bad thing. And then also that this David person, we don't see any messages of him saying like, oh, yes, I didn't do it, or denying it, which is odd in itself. Maybe some lawyer told him like, okay, be quiet. But I don't know. Let's keep talking.
Always the scumbag liars. People who sit and say they're one thing. I'm a classics person. No, you're not, you lying stick of butter. Chewy, let's lighten things up before I really hit it hard and put on people. By the way, if you didn't know who this person was, if you didn't know and you're learning it now and you're like, yeah, what can be done to stop them? Quick, teach your daughters. Chewy, right? Right, people? I suggest we listen to this woman. Right? Oh, God. Whose side do we take? We take the side of justice, bitches. That's what we do.
We take the side of justice. Is that right, Ammon?
What a satanic congregation. Are they in there? Right? You're a lady Babylonian, right? We stand up and we do what's right. People, I should never have to tell you this, but I want to make it perfectly clear right now. Are you ready? Make a short of this fucking thing. Put it up. Are you ready, satanic congregation? I should never have to do this, right? But in the world in which we have been injected to torture them for their crimes, we have to watch out. And I am never, ever, ever going to endorse or be interested in or push anything sexual, anything, right? Nothing. Why? Because you're my students.
Okay, so Ammon, he says that he's not going to push anything sexual. I have absolutely no idea what that means, because it seems like he's pushing all kinds of rituals that are sexual in nature. I think what he actually means is that he's not going to try to do anything sexual with anybody. Thanks for sharing, Ammon. I mean, so has every other person in the world that has done SA, has also said that. So thanks for sharing. I don't really know what. So like, to a normal person, that is probably how you should respond. But remember, this is Ammon's group where they just take everything that they say and everything that Ammon says, and they just trust it like it's the truth, like it's the gospel. That is the truth. And Ammon's never wrong about anything, and he's always honest. He would never lie to us. He's definitely not lying now, right? And so this is just a big, as we were seeing, this is just a big attempt to calm everybody down, make them feel safe, make people not want to leave the group, try to keep everything intact. So he's doing pretty much everything he can. He's distracting. He's just calling out random people that have nothing to do with the Ammonites. Even though there's the elephant in the room that there is an Ammonite that did something allegedly did something very bad. Ammon is saying that he would never do something like that, which, I mean, in some ways I appreciate that in another context, because, or like, maybe if you just said like, hey, this is a side tangent, this isn't related to it, but I do want to be clear that I know that a lot of times when you have someone that's kind of like a teacher or a leader, there are situations where they will ask for sexual favors of some kind. I would never do that. That's just not me. And if I ever did do something like that, then I want you to be very clear that you should run, stay away. That would probably be the more appropriate thing to say. I guess maybe that's Ammon's attempt at saying that. I don't know. or it's also possible he's just trying to get everybody to calm down and distract from the elephant in the room.
And there's a sacred ball.
And there, I should add that it's very, very ironic that he says this, that he was never going to do anything sexual, whatever, with anybody, when that's what he did, according to all of the evidence, at least, that we have. The most likely thing that he did at St. Mary's for why he got fired. Multiple different attestations of it. There's no evidence of what he says he actually got fired for. The whole the portals thing implies that he did something sexually. Now, do I actually think he had a portal? No, but he says, at least in a few times, that he actually did do that. So yes, I maybe kind of see what he's trying to say, but at the end of the day, like, okay, Ammon, thanks.
On. And the minute my hoo-ha comes out, the minute we lose that. And you know what? We're not here for that. We're here for the muse, right?
Yeah, so there's a good, really interesting question in the comments here. Do we want justice or get the pitchforks out? I think it's actually the second one. So justice would be, hey, David goes through the legal system and he gets justice by the government. What Ammon actually seems to want is he wants pitchforks out. He wants to promote the idea that David or any other enemy out there, we have to get the pitchforks out. You have to be on your guard, defend the group at all costs, defend me. You can trust me. I would never do that to you. Let's distract from the actual problem, and we are going to just destroy and mistreat anybody that stands in our way of the group.
Right, Chewy? Right? Chewy's the one. Are you whispering in my ear now like a producer? Oh my God. Right? She's the one making the mystery, people. That's why I'm so pissed. That's why I'm so pissed that somebody would do this. They're striking the very heart. Junius's Joe is sitting there with such beauty, with such beauty. He says, tell them, Ammon, tell them about her. Tell them about her. They can see who Jesus was through her. Give them the beauty and the hope. Oh, God. Those beloved musicians, they all have something good. They want something good for people. By the way, for my satanic congregation who's part of the audience of musicians out there, those of you who do your work on the guitar or the drums, people, so.
Yeah, he's all over the place in this video. He's talking about random Greek texts. He's talking about people that have nothing to do with what David allegedly did. He randomly is getting on this topic of how much he likes the band.
Much respect. So much respect. Fucking, you don't get enough respect. Chewy, bring in some lightness with people. This is a new video from, this is right, I can say it, Cruz. Give it to me.
Yeah, this is the latest stream.
Now when your name butterfly, fly away, butterfly. Such an idiot, why? Fly away, butterfly. The insurrectionist butterfly. Fly away, butterfly. Watch how we whine and cry. Fly away, butterfly. The insurrectionist. We are the original nutter. Gnostic Informant is a flying piece of butter, yo. We are go singing for the gutter. For all of the lies and false things where matter, bro. Bodies of a nasty Gnostic Informant is a flying piece of butter, yo. We are go kick him to the gutter. For all of the lies and false things, bro. Fly away, butterfly.
All right, so we're not going to list all of this, but it's really interesting for me to see the responses to this because, on one hand, you have Ammon's group who's like, "Oh yes, this is so cool and awesome and amazing." Basically, kind of like, "Hey, you would do this for the group, and it agrees with everything that we want to say, and it talks bad about our enemies of fly away." The like butterfly is supposed to refer to Neil because he used. I was notified earlier that he used the reference of a butterfly and a Greek example, and Ammon made a joke about it and completely took it out of context and just totally misunderstood it on purpose. It was very odd, like very very basic grammar example, and for some reason Ammon would rather just misrepresent him to make a joke to not make his audience not understand what's going on. So Neil is the butterfly, and why this has anything to do with David, I don't know. I guess there's a slight implication that David is an insurrectionist as well. Of course, Neil is not an insurrectionist either. So the whole thing is very odd. But what I was going to say was that there's all kinds of comments, like you see the bottom right says, "This is dope," and everybody's getting excited. Every once in a while, you'll get a comment that's like, "You guys have really lame taste in music," or so this is what somebody said. Yeah, Neo Prototype says, "I'm gonna die of cringe." Well, you're definitely die. You should check out my other video on this because Bori says that that like he goes on this little rant that that Neil and Derek from Myth Vision they're not really doing anything of substance. They're not doing any real benefit to the world because they don't their audience doesn't get some kind of purpose from their videos, and he gets all of this logic because because somebody made a song about Ammon, and somehow if someone makes a song about you, then that means you're really doing good things for the world.
Who and this same individual, David Hopper, who raped somebody in my name, claiming it was my authority.
Okay, so I've been told this is Damian Marley. Someone else said this was AI. I've never. I mean, I've certainly heard that. I haven't heard it side by side though. So don't quote me on there. If somebody wants to do that, sure, go for it. Yeah, the music, the lyrics are shot. So the fun thing is that this isn't about good music. Nobody cares about whether there's actually good music. The point is that what it signals from a cult dynamics perspective, what it communicates, sacrifice for the group, dedication to Ammon, a otherizing of the enemy, all that stuff makes people feel good and makes people feel righteous when they make dumb music videos about flying away. Like, why would you want Neil to fly away? This doesn't make any sense. Neil is providing some scholarship. You might think he's totally wrong. You might think that he is making things up that are lies. Okay, cool. But he is communicating things that at least some of it is true. Like, what's her name? Ammon's daughter, Chewie. Chewie says, "I watched almost the whole thing, and it was all lies," which is like, that's just so dumb. Obviously, it's not all lies. It's just a bunch of cope. But if you know anything about me, I'm a very big fan of critique. It is very important to have people in your life that will put in the effort to critique you, to show you that you were wrong if you make a mistake. Ammon does not allow that. Ammon kicks everybody out who critiques him. He paints them as the enemy. And what that means is that nobody in Ammon's group will ever know if Ammon makes a mistake. I mean, let's be honest here. Are we really going to say that Ammon's never made a mistake in the hundreds and hundreds of videos, in the hundreds of Greek lessons that he's done that, by the way, he charges people for? Are we going to say that Ammon's never made a mistake on any of these streams? And yet you've never heard him once say that he said something wrong. Not one time have you heard him say that, oh, I made a mistake. I should have said this. Not one time has somebody ever convinced him publicly that he was wrong about an argument, which of course is just probabilistically is insanely impossible, because every single argument that he ever gives, at least 99% of them are disagreed by every single scholar out there. So unless you just want to say that Ammon is just the one person on the planet that is just right about tons and tons of things that everybody gets wrong, then what you would be saying is that Ammon does make mistakes sometimes. Unless you want to put out in the world some crazy conspiracy theory, Ammon does make some mistakes. And in that case, if that is the case, then you have to admit that he should correct himself. And if he doesn't, that means that everybody in his audience that watches him will be misinformed by those mistakes. And that is why you need someone to critique you, to show you and keep you accountable. I have a YouTube channel, What Your Pastor Didn't Tell You. And let me tell you, there's all kinds of conservative people on there that they try to keep me accountable. And most of the time they say dumb stuff, but I still appreciate what they have to say, because a lot of the times, not all of them, a lot of the times, they actually do have helpful things. There's some people that conveniently only comment when I say something that is somewhat wrong or, against their conservative leanings. And sometimes that means they have a good point. Sometimes I miss things, and that's okay. It's okay to admit that you're wrong, but you'll never see Ammon do that. And that is a huge disservice to his audience.
My will for this to happen. That same son of a bitch who used me.
Yep. Well, Kent Hovind has his own little cult too.
Used my daughter. Do you understand? He contacted my daughter. People, these sons of bitches must be stopped. This is why Satanic Congregation exists, to stop people like this. And it's people around us. It's people around us. Those people who are so hostile, watching the video, watching this video that Cruz is so brilliantly made. Watch what happens. The assault is coming from these people. Yo, this was for Ammon and his daughter. Got a swatter butterfly with a fly swatter. I oughta feed him to the.
There's just more stuff here. And by the way, he says that David contacted Chewie. I have no idea what that means. None of the things that Ammon says in this entire video, it actually has the source or gives you any way to actually verify what he's saying, because Ammon doesn't care about it. He doesn't want you to verify. He just wants you to blindly trust and believe whatever he says. And once again, we'll watch this end here. He just puts random things on the screen of Neil. Someone says, this is healing me. But look at this guy on the right here. He says, that's some basic ass shit music. What does it say? Something terrible. Sorry, the quality isn't great. Fly away, butterfly.
Do you see Madalena, Josh, people who have been targeted in the past? Do you see the violence that is inside them?
The violence is inside. Who has the violence? What do we? What are you talking about, Ammon? The only person that has talked about had any kind of violence, all in the slightest, is this David person who was in your group, who you met 3 months ago, who met Bori, what, 5, 6 months ago, as we saw in the pictures. Nobody else that you talk about in this video, other than just like some vague person, like what, like Trump or something, that has pretty much nothing to do with that, has had any violence. On the other hand, there has been violence from other people in your group.
You see, it comes out to the surface. This is what they want, and they lather themselves up into a froth, and they go so far as to buy tickets and come and assault people of satanic congregation. You are not part of any group. You are members of what is right and what is real. We need to take it to these people. And I want to give this woman 100%, 100%, 100% in anything to bring justice. To bring justice. No one should ever. This is, people, it's so ironic because this is how the mystery was corrupted by some dude pulling his shit. This guy is closer to Jesus. Jesus and this guy, Hopper and Giorgiani, are closer to Jesus than any of us really understand. How can you?
I don't understand his fascination with Trump. Like, why do you just randomly put him on the screen like this? Is this supposed to be a joke? But, like, is it just dry humor? Is he just like, is Trump living rent free in your head? I know Neil is. We'll get to that in a second.
How can you sanction people? There's only one right. There's only one right. Right. And this kind of violation is exactly why echidna division exists.
Yeah. So when I first watched this, Asher's Orchard, I thought that his name was Hopper, but everywhere you look, anything like a picture or messages, it's Hooper. So is he like pretending that he doesn't know them? Like, surely he. Well, and like, would Chewie not wouldn't not correct him, or is he just going this entire video getting it wrong? Nobody in the comment section correcting him. It's very odd.
Excuse me, Nemesis division, right? People, sit back for a minute. I want you to take this in. I want you to take it in. One of you has been assaulted in my name. One of you has been assaulted. What is the solution, honestly? Do you want to know the solution? The solution would be to bring forward those who have the knowledge, who have the experience, who can stop it all, who can teach and stop it all. So that the next time dude does this, his balls and his dick get cut off very quickly with a very sharp castration device. Amazonian women don't get attacked. Amazonian women don't get attacked. You know why? Give it a shot. See what happens. See what happens. Do you understand? This is what we need. This is what we need. We need an education. We need an education, people, to see an end to the lies and to bring an end to the violence against us. And it'll only be You women with experience of this world who will make it better for our daughters. It will only be you. It will only be you. This is what I am, where I am inclining myself tonight. Put that one up there. Should we do anything? How about we crucify people who commit crimes?
Yeah, so Ammon is advocating for crucifixion for people of quote unquote these crimes. Crucifixion. Is this a joke? Is this serious? Who is it a metaphor? I don't know, but that's super reckless. Why is that reckless? Because there are people that are very angry about this in general, and they might not catch the nuance. If there is nuance, if we're just going to assume the best that Ammon is being just like jokey away or like a metaphor or not being literal of some kind, he doesn't actually mean crucify or like harm physically. He just means, get him out of our group or something like that, or just say mean things, whatever. Like maybe that's what Ammon means. It's impossible to tell. He's so cryptic, but at the very end of the day, even if we assume the best in Ammon, then there's almost a guarantee that people in his group will be so upset that they are looking for a justification to do harm to someone like this David person, to Neil, and whoever else that Ammon dislikes, whoever is seen as the enemy by the group. So this is extremely careless. I don't know why Facebook took this, not Facebook, YouTube. I don't know why YouTube took this down, but I can't help but think that maybe this might have been part of it. Maybe like a combination of maybe like the defamation and the calling out of violence. But no, this is not the appropriate response to someone in your group being harmed.
Like this. Violators of humanity. Why don't we do that, people? Otherwise, what the fuck is Lady Babylon? What the hell are we? You know, these are the same people who sent this attacker to attack this woman.
Oh, and by the way, people don't think about what Ammon's not thinking about is that the people in Ammon's group are very sensitive. Not all of them, many of them are. An example is that if you give any type of critique in the slightest way at all, if you even ask a question that someone interprets possibly as a critique, they will basically kick you out of the group. Oh, they are the enemy. They're like a spy. They are, whatever. They will kick you out of the group. They don't want to talk to you. They'll treat you badly. So why that's important is because once someone is kicked out of the group, that means they become the enemy. So what happens? Oh, Ammon said we should crucify the enemy. And guess what that means? What does that mean? That means that if you even get on the slightest bad side of anybody in the group, there's a good chance that you're going to be mistreated. That if someone was in person, that they could try to physically harm you. This is really dangerous for like if Ammon wants to do these band tours where he actually does meet up with people. Like it's kind of a surprise that nobody was physically harmed that we know of, at least.
Of Lady Babylon, these are the same people. Do we have enough? We'll have to refresh. People, these are the same people. Do you understand? They're all the same. You're going to watch them, and this will not be.
They're all the same. Really, they're all the same.
The last time. Because they live in a world where they can get away with this. They can take a shit in the United States Capitol. They can take a shit, and then they can turn around and take money from Israel. Do you understand who we are dealing with? These are the kind of people who attract David, what's his name? Hopper. These are the kind of people that attract the kind of move.
These are the type of people that attract David Hopper? No, Ammon, you're the type of people that attract David Hopper. Obviously, David Hopper was attracted by you. He wasn't. Ammon, or this David person was not citing Neil. He wasn't citing this Giorgiani. Actually, I guess he was kind of friends with Giorgiani. But he was he citing Trump? I mean, I don't know anywhere that like so. Like, what are you even referring to? Why would you say that this is the type of people that you attract? And even if somehow David is attracted to Giorgiani, what does that really even say? Now, if one person is attracted to you, like, okay, I mean, there's lots of scholars like Carl Ruck, where what he says from a scholarship perspective is misused because people want to talk about drugs in the ancient world. But the question, of course, is there any like actual substantive connection to that? In Ammon's case, it seems like there is, considering there is such a long list of people with troubled pasts, with no boundaries, with a lack of self-care, people with bullying, with harassment online, with so many cult dynamics. It seems like this is the people that Ammon attracts. So, like, is Ammon just not looking in the mirror, or is Ammon just deflecting?
Movements that track David Hoppers and Neil Sedlak. These are the kind of movements that pass around women as Do you think that I've seen evidence of this? Do you think that I've seen evidence of this?
No, we do not think you've seen evidence of this. And the fun thing about this comment is, like, he's saying, do you think I've seen evidence of this? And if you're an Ammonite, well, of course he's not going to say it, but he's seen evidence, right? Because I trust whatever he says. And Ammon knows that whatever he says, all he has to do is imply that he has evidence. He doesn't even have to say it. He's just, I have evidence. You just don't know. But I have evidence. Yes, I do. No, Ammon, you don't have any evidence of this.
It's an insurrectionist party, people, and they're members of this. And I hope this woman, I hope that what has happened to her becomes the black hole that opens up and swallows every last one of these sons of bitches, so our daughters can see that we don't have to live in a world that isn't Amazonian. The wicked. Oh God, people. I love it. They're ignorant too, right? But we have to move on, people. We have to go forward, right, from their ignorance is what I'm talking about. We can't dismiss their ways. People, Lady Babylon cannot be a thing if we have no justice. And I hate to spring it on you that they hate us so much, right? By showing you, I hate to spring it on you. But people, I'm not going to look another day into a mirror knowing what happened to this member, right? Without doing what's right. And I hope you're of the same persuasion. I hope you don't live your life for money and power. These people are very, very wealthy. And they have already swatted me. So the next time the police walk in, I'm going to let them see the whole record. For those of you who are lawyers out there who keep getting in touch with me and saying, look, you have cases, multiple cases of defamation, right? Multiple cases of defamation against Kurt Metzger, against all Carrier, against all these people, Myth Vision, against all these people. You have multiple cases, right? These people are endangering you. They're in danger. Are you kidding me? These people are nuts. Do you want to know who you are, Lady Babylon? You're those who stand against the dark.
And so I cut it out, but Ammon basically said that he. Actually, let me actually get the actual quote here.
You are Lady Babylon?
Let's see here. You are Lady. That's not even. Damn.
You're those who stand against the dark.
Okay. Who stand against the dark. Yeah, that's what I figured it was. Okay, so Ammon says, they're the end. Are you kidding me? These people are now graping us. these people are now raping us. I cut it out for obvious reasons. But what is he talking about? Now he's talking about metaphor? Like, obviously nobody thinks that they're actually doing that. And how? How are they doing that? Like, this whole entire video, there's zero substance to any of this.
Dark. And they're associated with all of these scholars of the Bible. Did you know that Ellen, what's her name? Pagels, what's her name? Did you know that all of these people are associated with them? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. You can see the whole beast. You can see the whole beast, people. And that's what Lady Babylon is here to do, to bring you the beast, the actuality that is going to bring the end. This is one of my favorite pictures. Should we leave that one up there for a minute? People, when you walk the mystery, you're looking into her eyes. Do you understand? The person who was looking into the eyes of scum, the eyes of the pollution of the cosmos that must be purified. All of this refuse must be purged. This is the nature of the mystery. The mystery for this woman is not her assault. The mystery is her purgation. And she will be a model for the rest of us. People of Satanic Congregation, it's my honor to be able to bring you the voice of the muse in a world in which we live, where we have to watch, where we have to be vigilant, where we have to keep taking advantage of us. I want you to know that I am there for you, congregation. I am there for you and your defense. Do you understand? We're there for what's right. We're there for the mystery. And that will not involve your assault. Do you understand? People of Satanic Congregation, thank you. Thank you for your fury, because that's what I need right now. I need your fury, your righteous fucking fury. And you say, I've never been to church. You don't need to go to church, God damn it. You need some righteous fucking fury of nature to look into the eyes of the people who have been, and to say, you know what? I'm one of you, and this is going to stop. We're going to stop it together.
How? What is anything that Ammon said in this video would give you any reason to think that he's going to quote unquote stop what is happening?
This crusade is as much about justice as
Is it about justice? Is it? Or is it about punishing people you don't like?
anything. We have a duty to the God of music. And his tradition was established by Lady Babylon herself. Thank you for coming tonight. Hail Satan.
All right. So, as interesting as that was, it also hurt me a little inside to watch that entire thing. Very sad that allegedly this thing has happened. Sad that Ammon can't handle it better. Very sad. Just the entire thing in general. Like, I mean, and it's just ironic. Bori says that Derek and Neil don't have any substance in what they say, and Ammon is literally the definition of no substance. So there's one other thing I want to show real quick here. Not only does Ammon associate Neil, and I cut out a lot of the words to makes it more obvious that Ammon was associating Neil with you know, these things like grape and whatever, which is insane, like, and totally irresponsible to do, to mention that. And not only that, but then there's the whole, you know, basically saying, hey, yeah, we should use physical violence of some kind to stop them or whatever. So that is a huge problem in itself, as we talked about before. But here's something that I did want to point out, and that he responded to Neil, and he said this. This is just really odd behavior.
Works for Neil and his people. That's just what they do. And they're so awful. They're so awful, people. The fact that they would stand against a victim of assault, right? Of sexual assault. The fact that they would stand against, it's unfathomable to me.
It's unfathomable. Yes, I think it is unfathomable to think that Neil would do that, because he didn't do that. He did not in the slightest. And I mean, you showed zero evidence to even watch the video. And then you have Chewy, who says that supposedly she watched most of the video and said that it all lies, which is ridiculous in itself, because half of the time he's just reading pictures and quotes. But no. So there's zero reason to think that Neil stood against a victim. In the very beginning of that first video, Neil says, hey, this is terrible for all of us. It's very obvious that Neil thinks this thing that allegedly happened is wrong, is bad, it's not good for anybody. Neil didn't stand against the victim. He stood against the people in charge that are allowing this to happen. That is who he stood against. And like, this is just ridiculous for Ammon to say that. Okay. Anyways, guys, I hope you found this enjoyable. Long video, but let me know in the comments what you think. To the people in the comments right now, thanks for watching. Really appreciate you staying along and learning. And hopefully in the future we can have a little bit better dialogue going forward. But anyways, thank you guys. Have a good one.